Hi, my name is Elisha Madison. Thank you so much for volunteering with us today to make reusable pads. Did you know in some areas of the world, girls miss 20% of school due to lack of menstrual health supplies? In fact, in the U.S., people also can't afford menstrual supplies. We refer to this challenge as period poverty. But that's where you come in. Each volunteer will work in different stations to help make one of these, a reusable pad that's good for up to 5 years. Thanks again for coming in today and helping us to fight period poverty.
Welcome to the fabric cutting station. At this station, you'll be equipped with fabric markers, fabric scissors, as well as some patterned flannel fabric and some plain flannel fabric. At this station, you're going to be arranging our templates that are hexagons in a honeycomb shape pattern in order to utilize the most of the fabric efficiently. This way, we can cut as many pads as possible from 1 yard of fabric.
At the Zorb station, you will get a piece of Zorb, you will get a pair of scissors, a ruler, a rectangular template, and fabric markers. What you will do is take your rectangular template, place it at the edge of the Zorb, and begin to trace in a rectangular pattern. You will continue this process until you've completed the full Zorb. Then you will cut out each rectangular piece.
Similar to the instruction on the Zorb, at the POL station, you're gonna have some scissors, ruler, some fabric markers, and 3 different templates so that you can use on the PUL. So when you start, you're gonna get one of the templates. It's a little paper marked template. You're going to place it on the corner of the PUL. You're gonna use a fabric marker to trace it out. If you need to use a ruler, feel free to use a ruler. And you're just gonna keep using that template on the mat side of the PUL up until you run out of fabric. We just wanna use as much fabric as possible using the template. Once you're done, you'll take the template away and then you grab some scissors and cut it out. And that's it.
At the sewing station, you'll get 2 pieces of fabric. You'll get a pattern sheet and you'll also get a plain solid color. You'll get a PUL slip and a Zorb as well. You're gonna take your pattern fabric and you're gonna flip it onto the table so that the blank side is facing up. You're gonna take your Zorb and put your Zorb down first, and then you're gonna grab your PUL and your PUL is gonna go on top. Make sure that the shiny side is facing down. You're gonna grab 4 pieces of masking tape and you're gonna tape each corner, here, 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 and there. Once you're done, it will look something like this. We do this because when sewing the PUL, it can be rather slippery. And now you're ready to sew. So what we'll do is we'll take this and we'll sew around the rectangle on top of the masking tape. And once we're done, we'll pull the masking tape off and then we'll be ready for the next step. After sewing the edges with the 1/4 seam allowance, your materials will look something like this. It's okay if the Zorb and the PUL kind of scrunch a bit. It'll kind of iron itself out in the next couple of stages. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna flip this opposite side, and then we're gonna take that solid color pattern and we're gonna place it on the top. We're gonna line it up directly, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna sew around these edges. So we're gonna sew from here to this corner, to the next corner, to the next corner, to the next corner, and back with the 1/4 seam allowance. Do not sew the top because we're gonna use this top to flip inside out. And this is what your pad should look like. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna tuck in those corners that we didn't sew the last step. And if you have an iron at home, you can press it down. And then we're gonna go back to the sewing machine one more time. And this time we're just gonna sew around the edges one last time to seal things in. Now for us, we try to do something a little fancy and we go to our zigzag pattern. And with the zigzag pattern in place, I'm gonna start sewing again. After finishing sewing around your edges, this is what your final pad should look like. We're now gonna pass this pad on to the button station. Well, they'll take care of the snaps.
Welcome to the button station. At this station, we'll be putting buttons or snaps on finished pads. Each pad will require 4 pieces of each button part. There will be 2 snaps as well as what the instructions refer to as a male and a female part, but for our purposes, we'll be referring to them as an outie and an innie belly button. Each button will be placed in an opposite fashion. Starting with the first button, we'll put the spike up from underneath the bottom of the pad and put one of the belly buttons on top. Next, we'll take our clamp and we'll squeeze it down together. You have to squeeze it kind of hard. All right, that snap is done. It doesn't matter which one is which, just as long as they're the opposite. So next we'll flip the pad over. And the same thing, the spike comes through the bottom. You might have to wiggle it through all the layers of fabric. You put the belly button on top. Take the clamp and squeeze it. And so now, because of the opposite, they'll snap together like that.